Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and as you can see from the last video, we unleashed the Horde, and it wasn't a small group of them, it was a ridiculous amount of them, and they're filling the zone to capacity and even spilling out over onto the sides. There is actually, surprisingly, 4 spawns underneath of this. Yeah, so if we ever actually get a chance to go ahead and kill off this Necromancer up here, which is the Orc Necromancer, or the Rat King Necromancer, which is the only 2 left out on the board currently, we can remove some Necromancer spawns from here. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this because somebody asked about this in the comments and it was a really good point. If we go ahead and happen to kill a Necromancer again, as always, we get a choice as to which spawn we want to remove. So the question really becomes, do we want to remove the one spawn over here, or do we want to start focusing on these ones? Now, the reason it makes sense to leave one spawn here, even though this is bad, because of course an abomination could pop into this once we get into yellow, or any other type of nasty thing could come out of here still. And yes, clearing that out would be nice because this side of the board would be good, but I kind of want to leave it because we're going to shift our focus from going from this area right here, dealing with all these walkers, we're going to head into this green room is my plan, grab that objective because now we have the blue and the green objective, so we have the ability to go into either of these doors. So we obviously are going to head into this one first. And then we're going to be shifting our focus down this way. So we're going to want to leave spawns over on this side of the board. In case an abomination comes out over there, it gives us a lot of time before we have to deal with it. So we have to switch our focus on eliminating spawns from this side now. So if we can kill this Orc Necromancer or the Rat King, those 2 spawns need to be removed from here. It's going to be my plan. There's 4 of them in there. I'm hoping to dwindle that down to 2. And then things are hopefully going to be a little bit more under control. Obviously, getting to the Trebuchet right now is going to be extremely difficult because the Horde is going to continue to march up this way, surrounding it. So my hopes of getting there in time are probably 0. So it's going to be quite the battle in the central area in the water hole to really dig our way out and then try to get through this. The other thing we could do too is, well, this is part of the fun too. We need to use the ballista in order to help us out a little bit. So we could potentially help us to thin out the herd basically by drawing them out to about here. We could also potentially use a Dragon Bile token if we can get lucky enough. We could plant the token maybe here. So like this is a 2 water hole space. If we get somebody to come running up here and kill a couple of these guys and plant the Dragon Bile and maybe run away, I don't know how this is going to pan out. It's going to be very tough because when you plant it, you still need to have a torch to light the thing in the first place. We don't even have that yet, so we need that as well. So much to think about and plan out, but regardless, we're going to start into this next video and see what happens, because so far it's been quite the journey. So where we are currently is we have all of our guys over here. One other thing I want to make mention of as well, before we move into our hero activations or survivor activations here for this particular video, is the Magic Ball of Destiny is a good thing. There was a couple comments from some individuals that were watching the last video, and I want to thank them. They took a little bit deeper of a look than I did in my quick seconds with it, and it's definitely odds-wise much better to be rolling this every single time. The funny thing about it was I happened to roll a 1, and that's the worst thing you can do with this thing, but odds-wise, if you roll 2 to 6, it's all a positive result to your attack roll. So it'd be silly not to try to get it because the odds are in your favor. It just happened for whatever reason that I happened to roll a 1 or a zombie head when I tried this last video, and so I stopped trying to use it with 11, but I think we're going to start using it because it can really, really help us out. We also have 2 Dragon Biles in case you guys haven't forgotten that, so we're going to be trying to strategically place those around. And Lucas is the only individual that has a damage on him. Everybody else is full health. Everyone's still in blue, but we have 2 individuals that are still have some space to kill guys. So basically we can go from 2 to 6 on Mike, and we can go from 3 to 6 on Hopper. So we have some space here. We're going to try to use that to our advantage here with these guys so that we don't push ourselves into yellow for maybe 1 more spawn if we get lucky. But we also want to crack this door in the blue. I do not want to crack that door and have an abomination show up in here. So again, that's all going to come into play right now as we move into the very first round of this video. Alright, so I think it makes the most sense in this situation to activate Hopper, because Hopper has that Brothers in Arms ability that if we can position him in a space where we know we're going to be able to use his dice, it could be useful to us. Now again, there's many different ways we could play this out. I'm sure you guys already have your strategies based on what you've seen from the end of the last video and the beginning of this so far. We could do this a number of different ways, but I'm trying my best here to use Hopper and Mike, which is yellow and red, in order to take out these zombies so that we do not push ourselves into the yellow for the next spawn. I want to get away with one more, as I mentioned. So we're going to have Hopper here activate. Hopper's in his space. He's going to be using his short sword, which he gets an extra die thanks to his Brothers-in-Arms ability. So we're going to grab 2 dice here, and it's just a simple walker. So I say simple, but I'm probably jinxing myself just by saying that. And nope, I did no problem at all there. That walker is long gone. So he just sliced that guy, no problem at all. We're going to bump that up to 4. So Hopper did his job. So the very first action successful. So I have 2 more to go. So this is where things get interesting. Do I move Hopper from his current space up here and then go through the hedge? Now, the interesting thing is, yeah, okay, first off, I didn't expect to get that on the first roll. Second off, I could move him into here and then have one of my heroes move into here and we could deal with these walkers to just clear things up. But walkers are walkers, and I don't think it's going to be all that bad to deal with them, being that we have our whole crew clumped together like this. I might even be able to use some guys with ranged here, like I have 11 out, where I could activate her, bring her across, and have her take pot shots. Her range is 1, so I have to get a little bit closer. Oh, another thing to mention, guys, the artifact that we got from the last pickup over here was the mace gun. As you can see, it has this blue node removed, meaning I cannot use this gun with 11 until we get to yellow. So that's the only weapon that I currently have that is not enabled or cannot be used. So yeah, I can hold it in my hand. I'm wasting a spot, but essentially I have nothing else in my inventory that 11 could potentially be using instead. Everything else, I mean, technically the Dragon Ball could be there in case I want to drop it, but I don't think I'm going to be dropping it anytime soon. Not over here. So we're going to have Hopper, I think, instead. Ooh, this is tough. I could have Hopper go back and maybe head towards the door, because if we crack the door, we'll have a whole bunch of stuff happening here, maybe. And then if Hopper's in that space, whoever's there can take advantage of his dice rolls. That's where it gets weird, because if he's sitting here, no monsters that spawn in here are going to like, we're not going to be able to take advantage of much of anything dice rolls wise, except for 11, who can shoot range from that spawn in. So maybe it does make sense to actually move them into here and then just have one of these guys come in and just slaughter them. So I'm going to go 1 like this, and I also get 1 more attack with Hopper, so I might as well take advantage of that. See if he can thin the herd by himself. He gets 1 of the 2 there that he rolled, so 1 of the walkers is dead. Let's see how much space he has. And it actually kind of makes sense, because I'm kind of slowly knocking some HP up here. Now here's where it gets interesting. He's at 5 now. So if I go ahead and attack and I kill both of these guys, I pump us into level yellow for experience. I don't want to do that. Mike has way more capacity at this point now, so I'm going to stop using Hopper for that stuff. And we're going to end it right there. But that's perfect, because I don't have any actions left anyway. I did 1 attack, 1 move, 1 attack, we're done. So Hopper's activated fully. That actually worked out pretty good. We might as well go ahead with Mike now. Mike is going to obviously come in here and help deal with this. So he's going to go after these 2. So we're going to have Mike here. He's going to be using his Norse sword, and it's going to allow for 1 die to be rolled, as well as an additional die thanks to Brothers-in-Arms, so 2, and he's looking for a 4. He gets 2 damage on this, but it doesn't matter, because he's going after walkers anyway. And he got 1 of the 2. Ugh, not good enough. I was hoping he could get it all in 1 action. That would have been super nice. So we'll pump Mike up to 3 XP. Okay, so he's going to have to do that again, which is kind of sad. I was really hoping he could move in, kill them all, and move back out. But he's going to have to waste his action, because I got to get rid of him. And if I fail this, that's a whole other problem. Nope, no problem at all. That's the die roll that I needed, or the dice roll I needed earlier. So, but still, mission accomplished in terms of keeping ourselves in yellow. So that was smart, strategically. So we've got these 2 guys activated, perfect. We still have the ability to use Will, who has a crazy weapon, as we know. This guy can wield something that throws 3 dice, which is the reason I held on to him for later, because I want him to come in and be able to maybe go 1, 2, well, I don't know. He might not even be able to get into that room. But regardless, the streets are clear. It's very, very quiet on this side of the board, as you can see, but man, do we ever have some problems coming over there. So next, let's go ahead and have, ooh, what do we do here? So I could go ahead with either 11, I could go ahead with Dustin, or Will. So let me take a few seconds just to determine what my strategy is going to be with these 3 and what's the best optimal way to use them. All right, I think it makes the most sense to actually send Will in, because not only will he have 1 action remaining when he goes from this location, 1 and then 2, but he'll actually be able to attack anything that shows up in there, because we're going to be crossing a hedge. And when you cross a hedge into an area that basically no one has line of sight into, because a hedge basically blocks line of sight, you have to pull a spawn card for that particular zone. And this is part of the Green Horde gameplay mechanics that have changed, which is really cool, because it's basically saying no one can see that spot. We have no idea what's on the other side of that hedge. There could be something there. So we're going to have to pull a spawn card. So I want the guy who has the best chance of killing whatever it is on the other side of this to be doing that roll. So 3 dice is going to be as high as we can get. And it also kind of more efficiently uses Will, plus allows these guys to basically move over without any issue and potentially even get into the room. So we'll see how this pans out. We'll either get really lucky, nothing will be there, and I'll be able to try to open the door, or things will go south. So Will is now, and again, I know that 11 can potentially go 1, 2, reveal some enemy, and then if there was no enemy and got really lucky, could potentially open the door for a free, or not a free action, but could open up the door without noise for an action. But it's not really worth it. Our noise is fairly obvious that we're coming from this side. The zombies know we're coming. Look at this train. So let's go ahead with Will. We're going to go 1, we're going to go 2 through the bushes, and we're going to go ahead and spawn a card for what is behind there. And oh my gosh, it would have been a swamp troll. A shrimp troll, that's what I meant to say. Okay, so nothing in sight. Perfect. So I'm glad we never pushed it to yellow, because that would have been a problem. So that was a good miss there. And because there's nothing, I have the chance to roll on this door here and try to open it. So Will's, what has he got here? Will is down here, and he can roll as long as he gets a 4, 5, or 6, then he'll be able to bust that open. So let's go ahead and try to roll for this. Please get lucky. Look at that, a 4. So he used all of his actions, and just like that, we've cracked open the green door. Awesome. So we're doing pretty good so far. Can't go in and get it though, but we get to spawn these 2 spots. So now we're gonna go ahead and find out what's in the first way, or first entryway. Look at that, guys. We got an Enter the Horde card. Isn't that fantastic? Because there's literally not a single... Okay, I just want to say right now, this could have been an absolutely devastating result. If it had been 1 spawn card, or I guess this would have been 2 because the Swamp Troll just came out. But could you imagine if all this stuff had been just a couple... We still had to have that in that area, and it had to come into this zone. That would have been an absolute nightmare. I think even at that point, I would have been so overwhelmed going into the next round. I think we would have lost at least 2 characters from all the runners just having their way with everybody. So good thing there's nobody here. Now the cool thing with this is it's an Enter the Horde card, but also it says don't spawn more zombies in the building, and the spawn step ends here. So literally there's nothing else in that building. So that was the perfect card to get on the second spawn card. So we don't even have to pull anything from here. And I think I just knocked the books off. I'll have to grab that later. But we did it. So what we need to do now is grab that thing. Now here's where it gets interesting. Again, we have a problem with grabbing the objective. If we grab the objective as much as we need it, we go up 5 XP, and we're at the end of a round. So basically, we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot going into the next spawn. We're almost guaranteeing that with 4 spawns, actually, what is it? Yeah, 4 plus the one over here, we're probably going to get an abomination. I want to avoid that. So let's just leave Will here to do the work later on the next round to pick that up, and we'll push ourselves into yellow for this round. Let's use these guys to get over here and kill this orc necromancer during this turn if we can. And the bonus with that is we'll be able to, hopefully, if we're super lucky... oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I don't know if I'll be able to reach the orc necromancer from where I'm at. If I had been able to, I could have killed him, which would have been fantastic. Oh, this is the worst. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. I'm going to take a look between these guys and see if there's any possible way I can actually make a shot against this individual, and then we'll be right back. Of course, don't forget, we also have Lucas down here as well. All right, so I got an update here on this particular gameplay that kind of hurts me deep down inside. I totally missed something, and it's okay because it balances itself out well enough that it's fair. So interesting fact here is that in the special rules section of the Quest 3 Know Your Enemy, there's a section here that says claiming what's ours. A survivor who kills a necromancer gets an objective from the pile. We've been doing that. And then benefits from 5 experience points and a random vault weapon. That's what I think we've been missing. So here's the thing. Technically, we've killed 2 necromancers. We've removed this necromancer and this necromancer off the board. Okay, so different heroes have gone ahead and done that. Lucas was one of them, for example, shot one of them with the ballista, I believe it was this one here. So when he did that, he should have gained some XP, which of course would have pushed us into yellow, but he also should have gained a vault card, which basically ends up being close to an abomination killer or something very, very powerful. The good news is I didn't give myself either the benefit of the vault card or the 5 XP, which would have hurt me. So one's a plus, one's a negative. So going forward, we're going to start following the rules because for some silly reason I totally missed that. And I think what ends up happening here is in a normal Zombicide game, Necromancers are always worth 1 XP. So I just went with that. I didn't realize that you actually get a vault card for every Necromancer kill you get, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But the good news is there's still 2 Necromancers on the board. If we kill them, we are going to start taking that 5 XP because we need to start following in line with the quest itself. That was my mistake. I actually read that out way earlier on at the beginning of the playthrough and just realized it now that I was playing it the old school way, which is basically the Black Plague way of playing with the Necromancers. This was a special rule for the scenario that I missed. So we're going to continue on because that's the right thing to do. So at the end of the day, really, I missed out on the potential of having 2 really cool vault cards, which probably would have helped me a lot in all of the mess that happened over here. But at the same time, we also avoided some nasty abominations. But we're not anywhere close to being done. So things are just, at this point, going to just ramp up to the next level like crazy. Because as we start taking down Necromancers, we're going to be gaining 5 XP, which is going to push people like way up there. We might even be into orange way quicker than normal. We don't need to go grabbing any more objectives, but there's now that drive where what do? Do we grab an objective to get more XP to boost characters to the next level so they start getting their stat increases or their abilities start going up, which is like this stuff right here. We want these extra actions and different abilities each character has. Plus the vault card could be an abomination killer, which is awesome to have a number of characters that can do that. So again, missed it, my mistake, but we're going to start correcting it from here on in, and at least it balanced because it was a plus and a negative, so things are pretty even. So we're just going to continue on, and things are just going to escalate very, very quickly. So I took a closer look at our 2 individual heroes up here. So this is 11, and we've got Dustin. Now both of them could not in any way, shape, or form get close enough to this Necromancer to kill it, even though I'd love to do it. At this point, if it pushes us into yellow, I don't even care. I just want to get him off the board. Because again, it's going to give us a vault card, and that's cool too, even if we get pushed into yellow. But the crazy thing is, even with 11, if I was to cross over here, the funny thing with that is if I cross through that hedge, because no other survivor has line of sight to this area, I'd have to pull a zombie card. So I probably wouldn't do that anyway. I probably would have activated Dustin first and brought him to here. That's as far as he could make it. He couldn't attack. Then I'd be like, okay, Z comes across, doesn't have to pull a card because there's someone that can see that space, but then only goes, then has moved 1, goes 2, and then has to use an attack. Her only attack is a 1-ranged attack. If she wants to try to hit this Necromancer, can't reach it. So regardless, whatever I do here, it's not going to work. But what I can do is get them positioned further up. So we know that the rats, when they activate, are going to go 2, so they'll end up right here. So as long as we're here, we're safe. The only reason I would say that they're not safe, I guess, is if we happen to pull another Rat King card. That would be really bad because the rats would activate and chomp all over us. We know that 11 doesn't have any armor, but we know that Dustin does. So Dustin could rule to try to soak up that damage if that happens. So I might take that risk. So I'm going to go ahead with Dustin, activate Dustin. We're going to go, well, this is the other thing too, because I can also pop in here really quick and search. It would be really nice to search one more time. We do have a little bit of time, but I really want to get moving too. And he's got Dragon Bile, so if I can get Dustin closer up there quicker, maybe, yeah, you know what? Let's get Dustin moving. Let's go 1, because here's the thing. If I can get this mob to land on Dragon Bile and I somehow am able to make that thing light up, I could just take down a ton of guys. So anyway, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and that's as far as Dustin's going to go. So Z can, or I keep calling Z, but it's 11 is what I want to call it. It's going to go through the hedges here. Doesn't have to pull a spawn card because I got a line of sight to that zone. And then I'm going to move 2 to here. And I'm not going to go any further with it, even though I'd love to. I just don't want to put myself in a position where I'm going to get attacked. So that's going to be it for them. The other question here is with Lucas. Now, Lucas has 3 actions. I'll use 2 to move this up closer. This now puts Lucas in a position to not only use the ballista from here, but also has enough range to target this zone now. So now Lucas can actually help these guys when these individuals start coming in there including the necromancer, who we are going to take down. So that's pretty much it. We've activated all the heroes. We're now going to move into the zombies. Well, it should be pretty straightforward because all the zombies are on the same side of the board. So we're going to have the necromancer go 1 space here. Our rat pile is going to go 1 and go straight for us. Again, they activate by what they see when they first activate. So as of right now, they see this zone. So they're going to head this way, regardless of being able to now see Lucas too. They're going to continue their trek this way. Technically, it's the loudest zone anyway, so it's fine to go straight across like that. But if there was a case where Lucas was here and something like that, and there was two survivors, there wouldn't be any diversion of its attention. Whatever it sees from when it initiates is where it heads. So it's going to be there. We're going to have a single walker move along in here into the water hole. This fatty's going to move here. The rat king's going to make the turn. We're going to have this walker come up here. We're going to have this fatty, this walker, and then we've got 2 runners. So this is where things get interesting. We got to start doing our runner activations. So boom, they're going to move a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, and we've got a whole wall of them here. So fatty here, a walker here, and another walker here. And then we've got this gigantic zone full of guys. So first off, all of the runners up front are going to land in the 2nd position here. So they're all making... Oh, sorry, that's actually way too far. So they're here... 1, 2, they're actually going to land in this zone. So this zone is just going to become a little bit cluttered as well, but at least it kind of evens things out a bit, so that's good. So I can actually kind of see a little bit better. All of these walkers are now going to move into the zone behind. So this is quite the mess. So I'm just going to push all these guys up. And actually going forward, when I have to move these guys, because of the amount of time this actually takes to move them, because the numbers are getting outrageous, I'm going to actually cut away to save you guys from having to watch this, because I'm sure it'll only become more nightmarish as we go. But for this time, I thought I'd make you suffer and have to watch it. So we've got everyone squared away now. Let me just make sure they're all in the right spots. I have some of them kind of falling off the sides here, but I'm just trying to make sure I got a dividing line in between. And there's all our wonderful spawns that we now have to spawn for. So there's nobody else on the board, zombie-wise, that we have to activate. So now at this particular time, we're going to go ahead and we're going to spawn. So we're going to start our spawns as we always do right here. Again, lucky, we are still in the blue. Again, if we had been playing of the more aggressive style with the special rules of getting 5 XP and an extra vault card every necromancer, we would probably be in the yellow or orange by now. But things are gonna get wild regardless. So this should be a lot of fun. Okay, so we got ourselves the Horde brother. So nothing in sight. So we'll take that as a nice freebie. We got ourselves the fatty burster. So nothing in sight again. So that's 2 misses. We got an enter the Horde, and we're completely done. So again, there's no Horde. Nothing was added to it, and now we don't spawn for any more zones. So that's fantastic. And this is probably the last time that's going to happen, because maybe not the last time that's going to happen. Because Enter the Horde can happen a couple times, but that was really fluky. So we're all squared away there. There's no noise tokens to worry about, because everything, I didn't bother with noise tokens at all, because everything was so blatantly obviously focused over here. We might need them. If we start splitting up a little bit more like we have been now, and zombies start getting involved with us in close quarters, it'll be useful. But again, I've been ignoring putting them down. If you're playing with a lot of other players rather than solo, it's probably smart to be doing that so that you can keep track of things. But regardless, we're going to move on to the next round and see what's in store. One other thing I'm going to correct is I accidentally, during my example with the rats, I moved Lucas here. He should still be here. Okay, so we're going to start our activations now. What do we do? That is the question. Well, first off, we know that we need Will to get in here and grab this, so why not? So let's go ahead and activate Will. He's going to come inside of the Necromancer's lair, and he's going to take that objective, and now, because we're playing the much more aggressive style of play with this, he's going to be beefing himself up 5, so he's going to go from 6 to 11. He's almost halfway through yellow already. He's going to activate the extra action, which is fantastic because he can take advantage of that even in his turn that he's currently on. So now he's basically got 3 actions again to spend. So while he's in this room, it'd be silly of me not to search it, so I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to cross my fingers it's not a zombie. Holy, we got another Dragon Bile. Are you serious? That's amazing. Okay, so now we've got Dragon Bile on 3 of our characters. That's fantastic. That's really going to come in handy. I'm actually going to put that in his hand, because now I can actually put that down somewhere if I need to. I can't search anymore, but I can move twice. So we're going to go ahead and have Will come back out the door, and then cross over here. He's crossing through a hedge. It has line of sight by another survivor, so no zombies will be pulled for that. Perfect. He is done. Next up, let's go ahead with these guys, I think, and just get them moving. So we're going to have him go 1, 2, and 3 and land there. We're going to have Mike go 1, 2, and 3 and land here. So we're kind of getting everybody on the way. We don't want to waste any time. Moving over to this side of things is where it gets interesting. So first off, at this point, once we start killing things, we're going to start getting extra actions, so that's fantastic. We've got an issue here with the ballista reaching its last position. If it gets any closer to the water hole, that's bad news. We'll lose the siege weapon. So we can only get it that far. Sadly, we can't bring it any further with us. So that is going to be an issue. We're going to have to fight our way forward at this point. The only other thing I can think of is potentially going into here and grabbing this objective for somebody, which would make sense just for the 5 XP and also a vault weapon. So that might be a smart move, just to give us a vault weapon while as we head this way. We might have one of these 3 do that in another round. Right now, these guys are busy enough with rats and everything else. So I'm going to take a few seconds and figure out which combination I want to do in terms of range and attacks and actions and everything else. All right, so we're going to go ahead and activate Dustin. I want Dustin to be the one that kills the necromancer in the end. So Dustin's going to go ahead and first deal with the rats, and then he's going to try to move into the other water hole and try to take a swipe at potentially taking out the necromancer. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who gets the vault weapon because I can trade later, but Dustin does have an available slot that's empty. It doesn't have a current vault weapon, whereas 11 already has one and will be able to use it the second she ticks into the yellow. So I think that makes sense. If I get Lucas to have it, the problem is if I leave Lucas on the ballista as like a backup and stuff like that, which I probably won't because the ballista is going to become less and less important. Although it depends, because this is a kind of a choke point now, so it's a weird situation where I might need it if we get into a situation where abominations start coming up this track and we need to head back to the ballista to shoot them again. It depends on how the vault cards pan out for us. Do we get something that can kill abominations? If we do, we don't need this ballista. We can kind of get Lucas off of it and go. If we don't get a vault card that's useful for killing abominations, we're stuck with him there to help us out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Dustin activate now. Dustin is going to go ahead and attack the rat swarm, which is only a 1. He's rolling, sadly, just only 2 dice, and he's 2 damage weapon, which is way more than enough to do what he needs to do. So we're going to go ahead and roll 2 dice, hoping for a hit here. And this, of course, will push him into yellow if he does, and he does. So that is a clean hit. So he boosts into yellow. So there we go. We'll go ahead and grab the extra action slot on his board as well. So he's got 3 actions to go still, and those rats are gone. Awesome. Okay, one last thing to deal with there. Now the necromancer is completely open, so he is going to... Now this is where it gets really interesting. We can't forget about runners, and this is maybe why we need Lucas to come here on his turn, if he can make it there. I don't know if he's going to be able to, because these runners are going to be here next turn, so that's going to be dicey, but we should be okay. Should being the big keyword there. Okay, so Dustin is going to jump into the water hole, which doesn't cost any extra actions to get in the first time. So he's in, and it's actually on a bank, which doesn't really matter because it doesn't cost anything to get in for a hero. So once he's in and starts moving around, then it slows him down. So he's in there, and he's got 2 more actions now because he bumped himself into yellow. So now he's got an even better chance to kill the necromancer. He's rolling 2 dice with his dwarven hammer, and he's going to try to slaughter this orc necromancer. 1 die goes off the table. Apparently he didn't even need it. He got himself a 4. That is going to be a success. So let me just grab this die here. All right, and we have killed off that necromancer, and the way we're playing it now, based on the rules, like we should have been before, he's going to go up 5 XP, so he's going to jump from 7 to 12, and he's going to gain himself a random vault card. So we're going to take that vault card deck. This is the exciting part. Do we get something super useful or not? So here we go. We'll split the deck in half. Literally in half. I can do it. No, that was terrible. There we go. And what do we get? Oh, that's the greatest thing he could have ever gotten. Except, oh, it rolls so much damage. What the heck? Roll 6 plus 1 damage. Huh? That's wild. What the heck? I'm trying to make sure I understand this one. So he can't use it in blue, but that's fine. He can use it right away. He rolls 6 dice. He can't kill... Roll 6 plus 1 damage. I'm going to have to look this up, but I think I don't know what it means by roll 6 plus 1 damage, because you're rolling 6 every time, so wouldn't it just say 2 damage here? I'll have to double check on that. But regardless, it looks like a 1 damage weapon that has some type of plus 1 damage bonus based on what you roll. Oh, if you roll a 6 in your 6 dice that you roll, then it goes up a damage. Ah, that makes so much more sense. So the chances are obviously very high. So basically it's a 2 damage weapon if you roll a 6. Okay. Overthinking that a bit too much. So this is a one-handed weapon. It's not going to be an abomination killer. So that's where, again, our plan to go into this room is going to be super high on the list now, because we still are hunting for something that'll kill abominations, because we are going to get them. It's going to happen. It's going to get nasty. So anyway, he did his job. So he was here, and he jumped, or he dealt with the rats for 1. He jumped in for 2. He attacked the necromancer for 3. So technically he has 1 more action, but it costs 2 actions to move around in a water hole. So he cannot move around the water hole. I don't want to go backwards because that would be silly. So I guess he just kind of stays where he's at. I don't think there's anything else I'm going to do with that extra action, sadly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there for him. And now we're going to activate 11, I think, next. Ooh, yeah, we'll activate 11. So 11 is going to go into the water hole for 1. 11 needs 1 shot here. And actually it's pretty cool, because if 11 gets this 1 kill, then it bumps her up and she can use the mace gun going forward, and that'll be nice because she'll have something useful to use for range. And actually rolls only 1 die, but melee is not bad. Oh, she can kill Fatty, so that's good. That'll be useful. Okay, so she's in there for 1. We're going to go ahead. We're going to use her telekinetic blast from 1 away to try to kill the walker. Just needs a 4+ and only rolling 1 die. Here we go. Let's see if this pans out. Oh, we got it. It's a 4. Nice. So we got it. I thought it was going to go off the table. So we got it. She goes up to 7. And this walker is gone. Awesome. So it's another one off the board. So things are looking clear up there. She now can use the mace gun. She also gains another action. Now the really cool thing is, so technically she has 3 actions left. She also has a free enchantment action, which I'm going to use for healing. And once per turn, the target survivor recovers 1 wound up to their starting total. Healing can't be used to resurrect the survivor. She has line of sight on Lucas now, so she can perform this enchantment. And it's free because she has that bonus. So Lucas, you are now back to full health. So nobody on our team is injured. Fantastic. So she technically has 2 more... movement points, and I think it would be silly of her to sit still. She does have Dragon Bile, and the way they're getting up through that pile, I think there's a chance, based on the fact these runners will be 1, 2, and I'll only have to deal with these runners and this necromancer. Oh, sorry, the other thing too, guys, my mistake. When I killed the necromancer, I forgot to remove a spawn. That's okay. When I say I forgot it, I didn't actually forget it because the round hasn't ended. But let's remove a spawn point. I'm not removing this spawn point. I'm going to remove one of these. So sorry, guys, if you were yelling at the screen going, please don't forget that. I caught it. So many little things to keep track of. But there, we're down to 3 spawns over here. So again, a big target right now is to get the Rat King, because if we do, we can knock that down to 2. So again, the reason I'm thinking about moving 11 here for a final action, which would cost 2, which would be everything that she has now. Let me see here. Well, let me think. Yeah, because she moved in, she attacked, so that's 2 actions spent. She gained an action back. So she's got 2 actions at that point. Well, let me think about this. So technically, at the end of the day, she has 4 actions, but she also has a free enchantment action. So I think oh my goodness, I got so many actions with her. I actually have to think about this. So 1 into here, 2 to attack the walker here. So that's 2 actions spent. She gains an extra action, so that means she technically has 2 actions left. She did a free heal here, and yes, if she wanted to spend her last 2 actions, she could get as far as here. That's it, because it costs 2 actions to move into another water hole when you're moving from one water hole to the next. All right, got that sorted. Reason I think this is good, because this Rat King will be in this position next turn. The Fatty will be in here. She can deal with Fatties and Necromancers. The runners will be in here, but Dustin will be here to help as well. And hopefully these guys can 1, 2, 3. Well, I don't know. They're kind of trailing behind it, and I might even get them to go up here as well. But as you can see, this is a race, because my plan is to basically... Oh, there's the or there's the trebuchet too. So like wasting time putting the... Oh, this is such a nightmare. Because if I go into here, all these runners are going to come in just to decimate me. This is madness. We need the Dragon Bile down, and we need a torch really bad. Really, really bad. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We'll see how this goes. So this is as good as it can get. We'll have to come up with a strategy. It might involve having... Oh, man, we open any doors. We're in yellow now. We could have abominations coming out everywhere. Oh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Anyway, we got Lucas. I forgot about Lucas. So Lucas can act. Does he have... No, he doesn't have his extra action yet. That sucks. So he can go from here into the pool for 2. And that's about as far as he can go right now. Now, next turn, I'll be able to position him here and then be able to take a shot, which will be useful to kill something, give some type of backup. But right now, he's kind of useless where he is. All right, so here we go. We're going to move our fatty into the water hole with 11. We're moving the Rat King, who's coming ever closer. We want to kill that thing for sure next round so we can get rid of one of those spawn points. All these guys are... Oh, sorry, these two are runners, so they actually end up in the water hole with 11 as well. That's not good. We got a fatty here. We've got a walker here. Our runners are going to actually catch up to the Rat King now, so they're going to be all the way up here. So every runner is going to be moved from that position all the way up here. Oh, sorry, that's a lie. They actually only get to go to here, so they're going to be 2. Sorry about that. Kind of gave them a little bit extra space than they truly get. I think that's it. Those guys are all orcs. Yes. All right, perfect. Done. And then, oh, that's a runner too, so he should be back here. That makes sense. What I might do actually too is I'll just double check that there wasn't a runner in here as well in a second. I might have pulled a runner out of this space and put it back here by accident, but I'll double check that before we go forward. These are all walkers and fatties moving forward. Then we have a gigantic horde here waiting to move forward. None of them are runners, so this should be just a straightforward move. I did tell you guys that I was going to do this off camera, but I am going to make you guys suffer and watch this. But it's kind of fun to see the horde kind of moving along, and there's really not that many. I guess this one space has quite a bit, but it's not all that bad. And we've got a little bit of a break there finally, but this is where it gets exciting. So we are going into the yellow spawns now. So here we go. If this is going to result in something bad, probably. Unless we get an Enter the Horde card, then everything is saved. Okay, first card up is going to be 3 regular walkers plus 1 to the horde. So we'll put this right here, and we'll move on to the next one. The next one is going to be another Assemble the Horde. 3 runners, and then 1 added to the horde. No abominations, please. Oh, we got lucky. Another one. So we got tons of walkers and runners, and that right here, but no abominations. Perfect. Can we get lucky enough to not get one over here? The way things are going, probably not. Oh no, this is bad. 1 extra activation on all orc runners. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is the worst. That is the worst. Okay, so we got some things to think about and resolve here. So I'm going to be right back. 11, you are in a little bit of trouble right now. Yikes, this just went sideways real quick. Alright, so we've gone ahead and we put all the characters into, or I should say zombies, into this particular spawn now, and we've also added the number of horde characters based on the spawn cards we had here, but the nastiest of them all was this one, and it really is going to bite us. So an extra activation for all orc runners at this point. Again, because of the way the order of operations would be, you'd obviously put your miniatures out on the board, and then eventually would come over here, pull this one, and so these ones are going to actually get a chance, the runners here, to activate, plus all the runners over here. Worst situation is that I risked it, and I put 11 in a really dangerous situation that didn't pay off, and both of these guys are going to get 2 activations, 2 actions of attack against, which is going to be 4 damage coming against 11. And 11 sadly didn't have any armor whatsoever, so that was really dumb on my part. But basically, totally destroyed. So the runners are going to basically just attack. They don't go any further. They just kind of go to town on her and eat her alive. The other runners are actually, sadly, going to join in the party. They don't actually attack, although it doesn't really matter because they only have 2 activations each anyway. So they're going to basically get to this point and just stop. But this makes this tile a much stranger and scarier situation where maybe getting back to the ballista is something worthwhile and drawing their attention back here. But things are going a little bit south here. So coming down the line, we've got no more runners in here, no more here, but we do have some here. So these 3 runners will go 1, and they're going to join in this massive pile right here. So I'm going to just kind of put them off to the side like so. So this pile's a little bit thicker. That's it, but nothing came over here. So I guess that's good. Downside being 11 has been completely removed from the game, so everything that she has is gone, and we no longer have her as a survivor. Now, some of the game effects essentially, or I shouldn't say game effects, but some of the objectives of these games will state that, all survivors have to survive in order to win. This scenario just says that we have to complete the 2 objectives. We don't have to have everybody survive. So that's good. So even though we lost somebody, that does suck. And 11 was not a character I really wanted to lose. She's out of here. So we're going to eliminate her, and now we're done all of our spawning activations, and we're going to move back around the survivors and see if we can pick ourselves back up. All right, so our heroes are a little bit sad today because 11 has left them, and they didn't protect her well enough. So they're going to have to carry on without her. So here's where it gets tough. Now we want to use noise at this point to try to draw these runners. There's a ton of them all up towards the ballista, because at this particular point, I don't know whether or not I could safely get all of my characters in that zone to do anything. These 3 guys can't even get over to this zone to even help. And these 2 can't take on all these runners by themselves. So we have no other choice than to do a little bit of, we have to do some risky maneuvers here and hope for the best. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to get 2 of our characters into the same zone. So there's more noise happening near the ballista to force these guys, when they activate the runners, are going to come here. And hopefully, based on seeing these guys and these guys, if there's 2 in a zone, they'll head towards that zone. Right now, there's 2 over here, so if it was equal, they'd split. We don't want that, so we want to actually make sure that when we finish our activation with these 3, that they're actually staggered or on different spaces, so that they're creating 1 noise in each space, and then when the runners reach this spot, and they look this way and see the survivors, no matter the distance, they're still going to head towards the one that has the most noise. So we can force them this way by having 2 of our survivors in the same zone. So I'm going to do that. So Dustin has 4 actions. Thankfully, was able to make it into the yellow last round, so we're going to go ahead with Dustin and go 1, and yeah, 1, and then, or I shouldn't say 1, it's going to be 2 actions to move that water hole, and then it would be 1 to get out, like so, and that's pretty much it. I don't think he's really got anything else he can do. He couldn't have attacked either because he would have had to be in the same zone with his hammer, so he couldn't even have jumped in and done anything or even shot anybody. So he's happy to be back here. I don't want to stop him here because the runners will make it to that spot, and if I got another extra activation for the runners, of course, they'd have a field day, and I don't want to be in the way of the ballista, and I want both of them to be able to shoot this thing and have a chance at killing them. So now we're going to take Lucas, and we're going to come out of the water hole as well because we don't want Lucas to get in trouble. So Lucas is now back here, and again, going to stop. I don't know if there's anything I want to trade between them. I'm pretty happy across the board. It might be worth my while to give this Dwarven Hammer, which is the weaker of the 2, from Dustin as one of his actions to Lucas, so that Lucas has the ability to do some combat up close and personal if Dustin needs it. The Dwarven Axe is pretty amazing, so I don't think he needs both. And it can't be dual wielded anyway. So that's perfect for them. Next up, we come over to these 3. So the question really becomes what we do with them. I want to kind of get them into this room. I'm really scared because if I get them in that room, they could potentially find a vault weapon, which could be good, but they could also launch an abomination because we're in yellow. So it's kind of one of those risk-reward things where it's like, this could be a good idea, or this could go so fast. We also need to try to find a torch so we can light Dragon Bile to be able to use that against abominations. So there's a number of reasons to go in there, and I wouldn't mind trying. We do have to cross a hedge, so it's going to be essentially crossing the hedge, potential spawn, and then open the door, potential spawn. So it really could be bad. And the worst part about this situation right now is neither of those 3, from my understanding here, especially Hopper, Billy, and even Liam, none of them have weapons that are capable of taking out anybody in large capacity that way. Now, it might be better to have Will go to the first one, because Will can go 1, 2... Well, actually, that's a bad idea, because Will's so far away. Oh, this is the worst. Let me think. 1, 2... Yeah, Will can get in, but then doesn't even have a chance to do anything. Mike can get in there. Hopper would make sense to go in first, because that would give Mike an extra die. So maybe we do that. Oh, this is scary. The other thing, too, is, I mean, we technically have a door open right here. We could just jump in through there. I could have Will jump in there and try to search in there instead. And come out with something useful. So we'll see. We'll see how much we need Will there. So let's go ahead and activate Hopper. So 1 and 2, we're going to cross over. This is going to be scary. We're going to spawn. Oh, it was bound to happen. So much pain. Okay, so the Swamp Lurker's coming back. Wait a minute. This is the same guy that was in the last one. So again, we have a returning creature. I even have this one ready to go. There he is right there, looking pleasant. So the Swamp Lurker is going to show up in the same zone as Hopper. That is the worst thing that could happen. The good news is he's not in a water hole, so we can kill him. The bad news is we don't have anything to kill him with. So this just went so fast. Okay, so the Swamp Lurker, yep, that happened. Well, I don't know if we'll be opening the door anytime soon now. What do we do now? So, what do you do? So 1, 2, I guess he's there. I can't, let me see, do I have... No, he hasn't got the extra activation to move. Oh man, I've really botched this one up now. Let me just, I'm going to double check really quickly on the... No, I don't think there's anything I can do. I think I'm going to have to lure him to the ballista. That's pretty much my only option. But the worst part is, if this Swamp Lurker gets towards the water, I don't believe it even takes damage, because it just hides in the water, essentially. It has a crazy special ability that way. So we really do need that Vault Weapon. And the only way for me to get it is to have Hopper to be able to get past him. Yes, so there is literally nothing I can do there, because I only have 1 action remaining with Hopper, and I can't leave the room or do anything else, because if I do... Now, I guess the question becomes, could I potentially open the door? Now, that would probably be the worst thing I could ever do. It probably makes more sense to just not do that, because if I open the door... I believe I can do that, try to open the door. It just states that you can't move out unless you have enough actions to do so. So I think I could still... try to crack the door open, but that would just spawn another nightmare likely, and that would just increase the odds that I'm going to get thrashed. So I'm going to hold off on that. This guy will hit me for 1, and Hopper doesn't have any armor currently, but I can survive a couple hits, and I can potentially run away later if I get lucky. Okay, so with that being said, Mike and Will now are terrified based on what just happened here. So they're going to have to change their plan of action and probably head inside. So I'm going to have Will go... if I jump past this hedge now, there's no line of sight to it. Oh no, this is so bad. Oh, either way, whichever one I go through is going to do that, because I have no line of sight to it, so I'd be spawning another nightmare. Okay, hold on a second. He's got 4 actions, though, so can I get around it? 1, 2... 3. Yeah, I could go the long way, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I just don't want to spawn anything. So I'll go 1, 2, 3 into the room. Last action is going to be, please something good. I don't think that's going to be good enough. Gain a die if Curved Dagger is also equipped. No, that's not going to be good enough. So that's probably going to go in his backpack as something he can turf at some point. Shoot. That didn't work out. So for Mike now... Oh, do I risk this? I need a 3-weapon so bad. Mike can make it into here and search, as long as whatever's there doesn't destroy him. And Mike doesn't have enough actions to get around. 1, 2, 3, we'll put him there. Oh, this is too bad. This is too bad. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Mike back, I think. I don't want to go through any hedges, so I'm going to play it safe, because I just cannot, I can't have another abomination spawn too close to them when we don't have a way to kill them. We do have Dragon Bile, yes. The Dragon Bile we do have on Will. So at some point it could be worth it to drop the Dragon Bile. Probably should have done that before I ran back to the building. But we still need a torch, so we need to keep searching like crazy. So that's all I can do with them. Hopper's done. These guys are in place. So our turn is done. So this was a very uneventful turn because this is more like 11 just got murdered up here. And then we decided to go, go ahead and move forward and do something better with our lives. And then boom, a Swamp Lurker shows up and nightmare ensues. And Will and Mike just start panicking and running around in circles. These guys are actually doing something productive and trying to stop this horde. But the Horde is exactly who we're activating right now. So we're going to go ahead and move the runners. So the runners are going to go 1. They see us now, so they're coming up the street. So they're just going to all dogpile into this space right here, which is fine with me because that's going to give me the ability to hopefully peg them all. The fatty only makes it to there. This walker goes here. We've got the Rat King here. This is really bad because I really wanted to kill that Rat King, and everything went sideways on me. These fatty and walker go here. We've got some other walkers and a fatty going up here. There's a huge group here, but the runners are going to jump too, so they'll end up in this space way up there in the corner. So that'll thin the herd a little bit here. I think that's it. Yep, and then this whole horde will just kind of shamble forward into this spot. Oh man, this is not looking good. Like the fact that there's no way to really get through to this side of the board without going through this nightmare goes to show how important that trebuchet was. And I say was because I don't think I'm ever going to get anywhere close to it. Unless I get super lucky, which you never know. Never know. Zombicide's full of twists and turns. You never know what'll happen. Okay, so that's all them activating. The other thing, of course, is this guy, the Swamp Lurker, is going to activate. So the Swamp Lurker is going to go ahead and hit Hopper for 1 damage that I cannot block because I don't have any armor, sadly. Ouch. Okay, and then now we're going to spawn. So, kind of terrified. Here we go. First spawn is some runners. Okay, I can deal with that. Actually, I don't like runners at all. Enter the Horde. Ah, perfect. We stopped spawning at this point. Good. So the Horde is going to be these 3 right here coming in. We don't spawn anything further. I have to put in the 3 runners. So let's go ahead and grab them. See if I have enough on the side here. Don't think I do. I might be short by 1. Yeah, so I'm going to have to grab a few more and I'm going to bring them in. And hopefully we're not running too short on runners or they're going to be all activating soon. And that's going to cause chaos. So technically the way that works out is you can see here, assemble the Horde would have come in first, so it would have been 3 runners plus 1 in the Horde. So I put 3 in here and 1 over here. And then of course, enter the Horde would have been the 3 that were already here, I moved in here, plus the one that got just put in here gets put in here. So basically everybody just basically piles into that one spot and we're done. Okay, that was fun. All right, so that's it. There's no more spawning, so that's good news. That means this side's clear again, so that's something to be happy about. The downside here is that I've noticed that I've come dangerously low to running out of runners, and I think I actually may have run out of runners because there's a lot on the board. If I don't kill them and more of them spawn next turn, then we're going to have a problem in terms of extra activations. And with runners, that's going to be devastating. So we really need to kill some. There's some right here in front of us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that right now. So Lucas is going to be the one that's going to go first. Lucas is going to use the ballista. So we're going to be able to roll 3 dice. And this is going to take 2 actions to do. This will also give him the ability to shoot again because he'll get the extra action. So we should be able to clear these guys out, I hope. I say that big time hope. So again, I have line of sight. So and it does hit every zone straight away. So first off, I get to target this group here, and then I'll get to go target the fatty afterwards. So we're going to go ahead and roll 3 dice on this attack. And it's an accuracy of 3+. So here's hoping. That's 2 kills in the first zone. Nice. So 2 of these guys are gone. That means Lucas is going to go up to yellow, which means Lucas gets an extra action, which means he'll be able to shoot again after this. And the ballista continues to travel through and go into the fatty zone, where the fatty will now be hit. I hope. Yes, and the fatty is gone. So this fatty's off the board as well. So Lucas has cleared that out quite nicely. So up to 9. Perfect. He has 1 more shot, but doesn't need... Actually, sorry, he does need it. We need to clear these guys out. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, shoot. You know what, guys? I'm going to change my... Oh, no. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, never mind. I couldn't have made it. I was thinking I might be able to use Lucas if this was clear to get all the way over here and shoot, but I couldn't even make it to here. It would be 4 actions and I couldn't even shoot. So I thought I could maybe have a chance of killing off the Rat King, but it's not worth it. Okay, so Lucas is going to go ahead and try to hit again here. This is using his other 2 actions that he has to shoot this thing again to hit the runners. He gets I just dropped that die on the floor, so we'll roll a different one. Ugh, not a good roll at all. So only 1 runner is killed off. So that's going to be an extra XP for him. That's it. That's all he can do. So now we have to move over to Dustin, who's going to try to do the exact same thing, shooting the ballista. And we got 2, which is, not enough. Almost, but not enough. So let's go over here and bump him from 12 to 14. That's dangerous. He's getting way up there. There's nobody else behind, so the shot just goes off into the wind. And we're going to use the last 2 actions to do the exact same thing again. And we got 2 successes, which is overkill. Boom. So that's good. We managed to clear out all of the runners and everything else in there. He's up to 15. So that is clear. We'll be able to hit the Rat King next. So these guys being here is a useful thing for sure, but just having them there the whole time is kind of a waste as well. So we're going to come over here to Will, who's still hunting around in the shadows here, hoping to find something. So here we go, Will. Find something useful, please. Repulse. Okay, enchantment. Once per turn, push all zombies from a target zone you can see to a zone adjacent to it that shares an open path and is 1 zone further from you. Wow. That's really powerful. And could be game-changingly powerful, maybe? I guess runners are still a problem with that, though. Runners are still the issue. That could definitely help him get through the hordes, but I think the runners would still give him some problems. So I'm going to put that in his Dragon Bile slot, because that almost seems better to have in his hand at the moment. But that's all he can do. So he didn't get exactly what he wanted there. He still has 3 actions. That's so many actions to use, and he's so far away from everything. I think it makes sense to definitely come up this way. So he's ready to do that again. And then later he can come out the door and go across. I think I might sit... Actually, you know what? It might be worth it to just bust into that room and go for the vault weapon. It could be really, really dangerous, but it might be worth it. So let's not go there. Let's go... so I have 4 actions. I go 1, 2, 3. Next turn I can go 1, 2, 3. And correct. Ugh, that's not good because I was sitting in that room with him. Although I could lure the swamp lurker away with Hopper. Maybe that would give me enough time to get those guys in that room. That could be doable. So let's go, and I don't want to cross a hedge. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Now if I was here and I went 1, 2, 3, that would be a lot more useful. So yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to change my strategy here. I'm going to say that I hypothetically moved Hopper first so that I can get Hopper into a position where he's seeing this area so that I can actually move Will and he won't have to pull a card. So I'm going to have Hopper actually go across the hedge. Oh, I guess if he goes across the hedge, he pulls a card too. Oh, that's bad. Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to go ahead with Mike, and we're going to have Mike go 1, 2, 3. So we'll have said Mike goes like this to get line of sight here. Hopper uses 2 of his actions to get out of this zone, but doesn't have to pull a card because Mike can see him. He has 1 more action left. Oh, sorry, and I wanted to do that this way so I can get him further away from the door. And then he has 1 action left, so I'll put him over here. Abominations don't split, so then I can just choose to put him over here, which will give me a pathway through the door. And then that allows me to search with Will, which I did, and then go 1, 2, and jump through here at 3. So that sets me up much better going into the next round because I'm going to kind of play hide and seek with the lurker a little bit and then hopefully get in behind him. And if I get super lucky, the vault weapon will be able to kill abominations and I'll be able to do something. So it's kind of hoping for the best case scenario there, but I think that's all I've got. So the Rat King is going to move here and this one walker here. So he's now in target range finally to get rid of a spawn zone. These guys are going to move here. We've got regular walkers and some fatties coming in here. We got some runners, so these runners will jump twice into the water hole. Boom, boom, like so. Another one into the hole. And then these are just regulars, so they're going to move like this. We've got no runners in here, so this is just a giant pile of zombies moving up the board together in a group. This is a pretty big group. This is a group that needs to be hit by a trebuchet or one of the larger weapons, because it's just outrageously large now. We got a whole bunch of regular walkers here, so they're all going to shuffle up. And then we've got some runners, so these runners are going to make this group a little bit more painful and moving up a little bit quicker. And then we've got some walkers. Oh, there's one more runner in there. Oh my goodness. This is madness. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to spawn. Oh, here we go. Enter the Horde. That's the perfect card to get because there's nothing there and we don't spawn a single thing. Amazing. Okay, so you know what, guys? What we're going to do is we are going to, because that was such a quick round, I'm going to go one more full round and we're going to end the video. I know this one's really long, but we're going to push through and see what we can do because we're able to kill the Rat King and I want to do it this turn. So let's go ahead here. We're going to use, who do we want to use first? I guess in this case, let's go with, I guess either way, these guys are going to stay here to be shooting this ballista, so it doesn't really matter. Let's go with Dustin first to shoot. I guess if Lucas went 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that's worth it. We get. Oh, that's right. We're going to get a vault card for killing this guy too. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so who do you want to have the vault card in the end? Probably Lucas, because Lucas doesn't have a vault card yet, whereas Dustin does. So let's do that. So we're going to have Lucas do the shooting at this guy here. Target priority order again is going to be from ranged. It's going to hit the, let me see here, the walker first and then the necromancer next. So here's the roll for 3. We can see them, so it's 3+. It's a hit. Oh my gosh. That is death all the way around. So boom, that's going to be 6 XP. Well done. We're going to take away a spawn point. Fantastic. And, geez, that was a powerful hit. So 6 XP is going to push him to 16, so we're still at yellow. That's good news. But we're pushing it now because we're almost at orange with both of the characters on that ballista, which is dangerous. We do get a random vault weapon, so let's go ahead here and pull a vault weapon. Please be a zombie killing, or a abomination killing. No, we got the bone sword. Gain +2. No. This is not what I need. Gain +2 dice of the bone is also... Oh, I guess if there's another type of weapon, I get a bonus there, but that is not going to help me. It's a better weapon, though, than the Dwarven Hammer. I have to be in yellow... yeah, this is actually much better, so I'll just put the Dwarven Hammer away. Okay, so that's that. We did not... We still haven't gotten lucky enough to get a vault weapon that can kill the abominations yet. This has been brutal that way. Okay, so the only other option we have now is to be going after this particular objective. So I technically have a full 3 actions to use with Dustin here, or 4, sorry. So Dustin could run 1, 2, 3, 4, and then has a free search action. So that actually might make sense. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 into the room. And let's search with Dustin. A Norse sword. Are you serious? I can't dual wield those. No, that's no good. It's not exactly what we're looking for. So, hoping to find a torch. That's what we're going to continue hoping for with him. If I need to get him back, I will. I can tell that this is going to get dicey because of what I just did. Very dicey. But I thought I needed to risk that. Oh, man. He has Dragon Bile, which is another reason why I tried to risk that, because I was thinking, like, if I can get it, worst case scenario, I can have Lucas run back away, and then they can both search in a last-ditch effort or something like that. We'll see. So what are we going to do with these guys? Well, I was thinking about pushing past the Abomination, getting in the room, but that might be a really dangerous idea, so I might have to lure him out just a little bit more and make a move one next turn instead of attacking anybody, so I can get him away from the door. So what I'm going to do, I also don't want to have my guys in view because the runners will actually run after these guys because there's 2 in the same zone, whereas there's only 1 here. So I need to get all these guys out of the line of sight, basically. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually move this guy back here. Hopper's going to go back. Mike is going to go back, and then Will is going to jump back here. Now this might seem crazy because I'm trying to think about how it's going to work, but if that abomination moves next, it can go one of two places, so I'll end up putting it over here. Not that it matters which way it goes. I gotta run through, jump through a hedge, which is super dangerous, crack open a door, which is super dangerous, and then go ahead and hope that the vault weapon we get is enough to kill an abomination. If it's not, we're still hooped. So this is very, very risky all the way around, regardless of what we do now. I know that moving Hopper out of this area and back out into the street was kind of, it might have seemed like a silly idea. Probably was, because it's going to force me to just spawn another card in here. But Hopper would have just been totally slaughtered. I think he would have been dead before we even got another vault weapon anyway. He would have taken damage and another damage, and it just, I don't think it would have panned out for him very well. Plus, he has no ability to block at all. So he's the wrong person to be in there in the first place. So this should work. So we're now done all of our activations. Not exactly the most exciting. We do still have Dustin here searching. Hopefully in the future he'll find something. We still have Lucas on the gun. So let's go to the activation for the zombies. So we're going to have the runners, boom, he's coming around the corner here. So now at least we have some more targets. This might be a good turn to do some damage. Let's see what we get here. So I guess the runner, oh, it's not going to be the biggest clump. So the biggest clump is this group right here. But we should be able to churn through this clump even with just regular weapons, because our weapons are actually getting quite a bit better. We got to get past one of these large groups at some point, or hopefully get a break in things. And so far we got a decent break at the back here, it looks like, if we get lucky again in our spawning, but I don't know if that's going to pan out. So over here we have some runners. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runners that are going to hop up 2 spaces. So this is going to get a little cluttered. I'll try to spread that out so it makes sense. These guys are all here. These standard walkers move to this position, and then these guys move here, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to spawn. Now again, because I killed the Necromancer, we're only spawning 2 cards in there, so it shouldn't be that bad. I've said that a lot. So we got 2 orc fatties coming in, plus 1 to the Horde here. And we've got ourselves 3 walkers and 1 to the Horde, so not that bad. And then the one that's on the opposite side of the board is going to be another assemble the Horde, and it's 2 fatties. So that's not terrible. So if we're talking about fatties, we're grabbing 2 of them in here, and just like that, we add 1 to the Horde. Done. We get 3 walkers, so 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then one of them is going to go to the Horde, just like this. So that one is satisfied, and then we just need 2 fatties and 1 to the Horde over here. So the first time something's shown up over here in a while, actually. So just like that, and then 1, of course, going into the Horde. There we go. So that's all finished and resolved for all those cards, and I think that's where we're going to stop, because we have played this one for quite a while. This has been quite a longer video than normal, but I want to get your guys' feedback. What do you think we should do? Because we're in a really, really bad situation right now. Obviously, the odds are stacked against us. We don't have any vault cards or any weapons at all that can kill abominations. We have tons of dragon bile. We have 3 piles of it. We don't have any torches yet, and I'm trying to find them and stuff like this. So there might be some worth to getting you know, a couple of these guys in here to search. Going after the vault weapon, it's a gamble. We've already seen how that hasn't really panned out. We've killed every necromancer we can on the board, so we're running out of options to get more vault cards, which is basically decreasing our chances of finding a vault weapon. So we're getting to that point where we might honestly almost be getting overrun. It's so much fun to still try, but I'm kind of wondering what you guys think I should do strategy-wise, because we're getting into a little bit of a tight corner here where we're going to be trying to search a lot to try to find what we need, or someone like Lucas is going to get like run over, and once we lose the ballista, it's just a matter of time kind of thing. So we'll see what you guys say, because I'm super interested to hear what do you think we should be doing. Dustin's currently in this room. We should obviously search with him next turn and hope, cross our fingers. These 3, I'm not sure what to do with them. I could just have them start going straight through the middle and trying to just take it head on and take as many of them down as possible. Lucas can continue to hear and do support, so maybe I actually bring these 3 guys to like here next turn. I have the ballista do 1 more attack round, and then I just have them go in. I don't know what the best solution is there. The other thing that's really harsh is that a lot of my guys don't have ranged. This whole group doesn't have ranged. So really they have to be in the clump to do damage, which means they're basically in danger's way all the time. So it's so much fun, but it's so stressful. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's been a blast so far, but I seem to be getting overrun. And I greatly appreciate any feedback, comments you guys have. So thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep on rolling solo.